might be showtime. So it says we're live. Check. Microphone is working. Check.
Check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Let's see what's going on over here. Check. It may have been going live for 20 minutes right now. Yeah, there it is. Hey, okay. So we've double checked everything's okay. Hi, folks. What's going on? Shit. Is that frozen? No, it's working. Okay. The internet is really terrible here, so hopefully it doesn't cut out. But yeah, welcome to the Sorenzo Prop Show, episode number 3, I believe it is. And tonight we have Mike, from what you see here, creative, live in the studio, hanging out. We're going to talk some. Is your phone on silent?
It is on silent, yeah.
Yeah, it's not a vibrate. Who is it? Your mum?
No.
No.
I'm a mum.
Yeah, so Mike is joining me here in the studio, so we're going to talk about some stuff for the next hour or so. If you're watching live, hi mom.
Hi mom.
She's going to be watching
Dinner tomorrow.
Dinner tomorrow. A special order?
Yeah.
What you getting?
Lasagna and chips.
Oh, nice.
Because it's my birthday tomorrow.
It's Mike's birthday. Happy birthday, Mike. Yay. We'll sing happy birthday later. Yeah, so if you are watching live, feel free to ask us some questions. You can do that either through the Q&A app on the Google Hangout, or you can do it on Facebook, or you can text Mike. His phone's still on, don't worry. So we're going to have a wee chat and talk about what's been going on with Mike over the last wee while, what you see here. So you're going to take over now and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay.
Who you are, where you came from, what you do, what you're all about. And I'll shut up for a bit.
Okay, thank you, Tom. Well, my name's Mike. I am primarily a digital artist, and in the last year or so, I've been venturing into prop and costume making. I'm 33 just now. Tomorrow I'll be 34. As of 5 o'clock this in the morning. Yeah, no, I've always. I studied illustration in art school, so that artwork's always been my first and foremost. But the last year, I've kind of ventured into prop making just because it's became more accessible to people.
Yeah,
especially with what I do with a lot of the foam builds that I do. I want to say that I'm sort of specialise in one sort of set of thing, but I don't. A lot of the stuff that I've learned over the last year, I've learned online. Through things like this. YouTube has been a godsend.
the RPF.
The RPF especially. God, the RPF. I don't know where it would be without the RPF. And probably as a foam builder, more
light on.
There
we go. That's much better, isn't it?
Hi.
Hey,
look at my big white face. I don't know why I put on an American accent when I do that.
It's what you do when you go on the internet.
No, I just the RPF, and probably most notably a guy called JF Customs. Mm-hmm. He sort of made Pepakura accessible to foam builders with what he does with converting the files for foam.
It really has gone crazy with foam building.
Yeah,
in the last year or two.
Some of the stuff people making is crazy.
Because when I first started this, when I first got into the scene about 4 or 5 years ago, foam building was still kind of like people were like amazed. Somebody gets 20, 30 quid worth of foam mass and turn it into a suit of armor. People are totally baffled by it. But now it's like everybody's doing it, and they're doing it really well, which is great to see. But what's that called?
JF Customs.
JF Customs, yeah, because he's done
a
huge tutorial, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's got this thread on RPF which is about 100 pages long, and it's just file after file after file of foam files that he's converted. There's another guy in the States. I don't know if he's going to watch tonight, but his name's Joshua Cullen Cosplay. Some of the stuff that guy does is just jaw-dropping, and he does use a lot of JF's files as well. And he's making his own files now as well, so he's another one that I'm going to be tapping into in the future at some point.
And what's his name again?
Joshua Cullen.
Joshua Cullen. If you're watching live, search for him. If you're watching this on YouTube later on, there'll be a link down there somewhere. Yeah. So what made you first get into foam build? When did you discover it? How did you start doing it? When did you finish university?
Nearly 10 years ago. It'll be 10 years, of 8 years. 8 years this summer, so... Yeah. So nearly 10 years I've been out of art school, but I don't know. I've said this in other interviews and things that it all sort of stemmed from Halloween. I never ever went out in something that was store bought. Even from when I was a little boy, it was either my mum would make me the costume, and then I started making my own costume, and it went from there and there. And yeah, it was cardboard was the main offender back then.
And bin bags.
In bin bags. But when I don't know if you have seen the Optimus Prime costume that I did a few years back. I mean, that was all entirely cardboard, which can be a real pain to seal and make sure it doesn't go soggy if it rains. So that's when foam came in. And, you know, I was watching.
Do it out.
So I was watching some guys online, and it was the foam armor. How you make foam armor. I was like, oh, what's this foam stuff? And then bought some of it and experimented with it and different ways of sealing it and painting it and manipulating it. And it just all sort of stemmed from there. So now the Optimus costume has been slightly improved. There's parts that are foam, parts that are still card.
I've not seen that in a while. You haven't heard that, have you?
No, I've been too busy, but I do at some point want to upgrade it.
Yeah.
Because I think from what I did back then, which was 3-4 years ago, to what I can do now.
New skills.
I know it's just going to look shit hot. So.
What was your first build? The Optimus Prime was the first sort of
that was the
cosplay type
That was
thing.
my first big cosplay, and it's quite funny.
Was that for Halloween though?
That was for Halloween primarily. In fact,
then...
I've always done my own costumes. So like the last few years, I've done the Michael Keaton Batman, my own version of Skeletor, a big hairy barbarian where I made a big massive axe. So that was always for Halloween. But then when Optimus came about, I'd spent so much time on that costume that when I'd actually worn it for 2 years in a row, and then the first MCM in Glasgow came about. And of course I had Optimus, so that's when I started using the foam to upgrade certain parts and improve it. And then I wore that to the MCM, and just my girlfriend will testify, I could not move. As soon as it took like half an hour to get in the door. Just people wanting photographs, and oh my god, you made that? And it's like, yeah, and it came from that really. So that was in the September, and then I did the big Glasgow comic page for that. Oh,
sorry, we've got a dog down here actually.
Brought my dog.
We're not just being weird.
Come on.
Okay. Oh, there you go, my friend. Say hello. Where are you going? You have to go over there. There we go.
This is Boba. He's my wee doggy.
Did you find the mouse yet?
A real mouse.
Let's go. Get. There you go. Excellent.
So yeah, it's just
some of that's the MCM 2 years ago, was it?
Yeah, it was MCM 2 years ago, and then it was. I say 2 years ago. It was just over a year ago because the last one's just been in September.
All right.
So it was the first one.
Yeah. That was the first one.
2013, yeah. And then from that, our friends at the big Glasgow comic page saw me and asked me if I wanted to judge one of their comic marks as Optimus, and I wore that. And from that, I started getting people asking me if I could make stuff for them, and I thought, why not? You know, give it a go. And then it was towards the end of the year, I get commissioned to make a Games Workshop Space Marine helmet.
Was that your first commission?
That was my very first foam build, and sadly the commission fell through, but it left me with a really cool helmet to show people.
Okay.
So
you still had the helmet.
Yeah, so that was the first one.
Excellent.
I say that was my first helmet. I made the Evil Dead chainsaw.
Yeah,
that was the first time I met you.
That's brilliant. Yeah,
that was the first time I met you. Because you know, you're being online, you see all these amazing prop artists. You know, like Bill Doran, Volpin Props, Mr. Pinsky, all these amazing guys that do this awesome stuff that Tom does. And at that big Glasgow comic mart, I was talking to Ian, who runs them, and he was saying to me on the Saturday, yeah, we've got a prop maker coming tomorrow. His name's Tom. You should speak to him, show him your stuff. And I went online, looked him up, and I was like, holy shit, there's a guy in Scotland that does this, and his stuff's amazing. So I was a fanboy when I saw it, wasn't I? Like,
you fangirl a little bit.
I did. I was like, hi Tom, what do you think of my chainsaw?
It was good. Let me see your shotgun as well.
Yes, that was the first time I met you, and then it just stemmed from there.
Yeah.
And I got asked to make different things, and yeah, I'm always up for making stuff. So
Excellent. See, so what you see here is the name you go by.
Yeah.
Have you always gone by that since uni, or is that a new
no,
thing? Because I know you do a lot of. Mike goes to a lot of shows here locally, like sort of mini conventions and markets and stuff, like I do occasionally. And he displays his helmets, but he also does some amazing illustrations and stuff.
Yeah.
So is that kind of for the illustration just stemmed into the foam work? Or?
Yeah, no, it was back in art school. I did a lot of stencil artwork, and I'm not going to say I was out in the streets of Glasgow illegally stenciling things, but I did a few. And
someone else was doing it.
Yeah, someone else was doing it.
Someone took your stencils
with
and
my
sprayed
stencils,
on the
yeah.
buildings.
And they were calling themselves the Lonely God for some reason. I don't
The
know why.
Lonely God.
Yeah, that was a staff name. That Doctor Who fans will know what I'm talking about. But yeah, that sort of went away after art school, and I didn't want to be one of these guys that puts their artwork on. And not that there's anything wrong with what these guys do when they say, the art of such and such or the works of such and such. But I thought that I had quite a large skill set, and I wanted to come up with a pseudo that would sort of mean that if people saw my work, then they would know that that's the name it came from. So I was watching I, Robot,
yeah,
the W.Y.S.H movie.
Yeah.
And there's a piece in the movie where he gets given a clue, and the clue is what you see here.
Ah.
And I don't know, I heard it, and it just sort of resonated in my head because it was, quite a nice meaning. What you see here, the art of Mike Lawson, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And that became W.Y.S.H, which some people call it W.Y.S.H Creative.
All right.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
So that's where it came from, really, and I've kind of stuck with it, and it's became quite well known. So I don't think I'm going to change it anytime soon.
I wouldn't. No.
How did you come up with Sorenzo again?
I used to get drunk with these guys in Australia. We covered this in the last one, yeah, and they used to use Sorenzo as either a term of endearment or a term of abuse. I can't really remember. And I quite liked it, so I got an email address that was Sorenzo at Yahoo, and then everything just went Sorenzo after that. And it's kind of a cool name, and there's only one when you search the internet for it, which has worked out quite well. But yeah, that question's been answered a lot over the last year.
Yeah,
so no one asked me that at the beginning.
You have told me, but I just couldn't remember.
No, that's cool. So what's next for what you see here?
Well,
what you got planned? Where are we going? What's happening?
Well, thanks to the yearly conventions, the big ones, like your Glasgow Comic Con, Collector Mania, MCM, which I had the good fortune of actually having tables at and getting my name out there through. I've been inundated with commissions.
Excellent.
And while if anyone's watching that's had a commission from me, well, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for actually considering me and liking my work. It does take a lot of work because I do this part-time. I have a full-time job Monday to Friday.
Should you not be at home working on commissions?
I probably should be working on commissions right now, but when this chance came a knocking, you don't pass it up. So I'm sort of really working through my commission list, which will run right up to Christmas.
Hey, Boba. Are you going to tell you?
It's Boba from the internet.
You're going to get your own page now, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, we've been talking about giving them an Instagram page.
Oh, dear.
There's tons of Jack Russells out with their own Instagram page.
You don't want to go there.
Yeah, man, look at that face.
It's a slippery slope.
Look at that face.
What do we think, viewers? Should Boba have his own Facebook page and Instagram page? I think he's cute enough for it. We have to make costumes for him, though.
I want. That's. I'm going to bring it up in a minute. I'm going to bring it up in a minute. So
sorry, I'm jumping the gun here.
No, you're all right. So this little guy, he's going to get his own costume. But yeah, I'm going to work through my commission list, which will run right up to Christmas because there's a few people order stuff for Christmas. Come the new year, though, I'm going to rein back taking commissions just because so much of my own work to do.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to take any more until maybe the end of spring, start of summer.
Where are you going?
Go for it. Yeah, so finish up new year, and then I'm going to work on my own things because there's stuff that I wanted to do at the start of the summer that I've just not had a chance to finish. Like I don't know if you've seen Doctor Doom helmet. That's the start of the full costume.
You want to cosplay that?
Yeah. Got to cosplay Doctor Doom before Fox ruin it. So the full Doctor Doom costume, that's probably the next one. I'm desperate to do a Galactus head. So the helmet and maybe even work a bust for the neck and a little Silver Surfer. and just to work on more artwork
Yeah.
and just start
More illustrations.
more
and stuff, yeah.
illustrations, more smaller scale props that I've always wanted to do. A Pip Boy from Fallout, and I'll get an opportunity to do one for Christmas for someone, and I'm gonna see how that goes and maybe try and work a way I can reproduce them quite quickly.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah.
So what's the top secret about Boba that I interrupted?
Oh yes, sorry, Boba. Yeah, it was supposed to be for Halloween this year, but again, commission's gotten away. But he does some amazing tricks where he does a lot of stuff on his back legs.
Okay.
And I really want to do a Rocket Raccoon costume for it. Just a wee tiny Rocket Raccoon costume. We'll make the wee fur ears and stuff like that, and the fur cheeks, and just make the wee jumpsuit. So yeah, isn't that right?
You know what you're talking about, yeah.
Isn't that right? Here he is. Look, Rocket Raccoon. You can see it, can't you?
Excellent. So so you're going to lay back next year and start working your own stuff.
The start of next year, yeah. And then once the convention circuit starts again, I'll probably take more commissions then.
More commissions. You're going to be tabling up this time.
Hopefully, though, by then I should have a way of reproducing them quicker. Because I think the problem with how I do my phone builds is I want to get so neat that it takes really long. So there's a lot of prep. There's a lot of sanding, a lot of sealing, and then more sanding. And you know all about this, but
I know all about sanding.
Yeah,
no kisses.
So,
because you work primarily with foam, and everything is a bespoke build. Yeah. Is that the way you want to continue, or?
For some things, yes.
Yeah.
For the more popular things, I would like to think in a way to get them done quicker. Like this year, I've done so many Magneto helmets.
Yeah.
So many Dread helmets, and as while I still enjoy making them, it would be nice just to be able to make them a bit quicker.
So would you like to get into molding and casting and that sort of side of things?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Smaller scale things to start, and then hopefully try and build up to sort of larger scale things. Mainly the ones that I produce a lot of.
Yeah.
Just so I can maybe knock them out. But I remember asking you about it a while ago, and you were talking about the factor and the costs.
Yeah, that's when all the prices start going up.
Get off that table, Boba. That's not your table. Down.
He's making himself feel at home, eh?
Down. Good boy.
Oh, he's a good boy. Yeah, because that's part of the difference between me and you. Whereas you can wash out a helmet in a couple of days, a week, whatever. Whereas I would need to spend a good couple of days, if not a month, getting all the molds ready, getting all the casts ready, get the castings ready, and then finishing it and prepping it. So there's no sort of middle ground between it. It's either sort of really quick or a long time, a lot of effort. And it's interesting because I want to go back and do more foam builds because I'm getting sick of spending 3 months looking at a load of sanded mess. I want to spend an hour or 2 hours working and have something finished at the end of it,
Yeah.
It's quite interesting to see that we both want to go in opposite directions. We'll probably turn around and come back once we figured out what it's all about. What's your dream build?
My dream build?
Yeah, no money issues, no time issues. You can do whatever you want.
Do you remember Centurions?
No, but I don't think I actually watched it as a kid, but I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, for those that don't know, Centurions was an awesome 80s cartoon.
They were all awesome.
Yeah, I mean, all 80s cartoons were awesome, but Centurions was one of my favourites. And basically, the main characters in it wear these exosuits, and with a little help from Crystal up in space, they could get transformed. Well, not transformed, but they could get weaponry and machinery blasted down to them and attached to these exosuits. And I would love to do a Centurion costume, but each of them, I can't remember if someone out there can correct me, if they had 3 different suits that they could wear or 3 different combinations of weaponry.
Yeah.
And the idea was I would make the exosuit but have big industrial sized magnets in the plugs where the bits would go.
So you could,
and then I could make all the parts and I could swap the parts about.
How many was in the show?
There's 3 guys.
3 guys.
Jake Rockwell, Max Ray, and Ace McLeod.
Excellent. Did you do an illustration of them?
Haven't yet. No.
Is that another?
The main bad guy, Doc Terror, he's in the list for the Evil 80 series, so He's going to be one of the next two.
Yeah, Mike did this amazing illustration series, Evil in the 80s. I have 4 of them at home.
do,
and
yeah.
I have them framed. I haven't put them up on the wall yet, but I need to get them up. But I have Cobra Commander, which is amazing. Skeletor. What else I got? You've got
Mumra and
and
Shredder.
no, Shredder. I don't have Transformer.
No, you don't have Megatron yet.
I thought I had Megatron. Have I got 4 or 5?
Have you got 6?
No,
Have
I
you
just,
got
I just-
Avenger?
I just got 4.
Oh no, you've
I've not got
just
Avenger. I didn't know him.
Avengers from Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, I didn't know him. But yeah, they're brilliant. There'll be a link down here to his illustration page. Check it out. Really awesome stuff. Alistair Watson has just messaged in saying that he's not watching this pitch because the football's on. Fuck yeah. There you go.
I forgot about that.
What? You missing the football?
Yeah, off.
Who's playing?
It's Scotland, England, friendly.
All right.
Celtic Park.
Does it matter?
It's a friendly.
Yeah, only matters if you get beat, yeah.
Mhm.
Right, well, cheers, Alistair. You obviously are watching because you just wrote a message in, didn't you? I don't know. I can't think of any more questions. I think I've written in all my questions. Oh, yeah, you've got something big happening next week, haven't you, apart from your birthday?
Yeah, well, tomorrow's my birthday. And then next weekend, I've been fortunate enough to be asked to become a guest exhibitor at the Malta Comic Con. So my first international appearance, which is going to be really good. Really excited
impressive.
about. Yeah.
So where did that come from? How did that come about?
My cousin, she lives down south, and she's fortunate to be next door neighbours with an amazing artist called Andrew Wildman.
Okay.
He's a Transformers artist. He does artwork for Transformers comics.
Really?
And he works, I believe he still works as a concept artist for Doctor Who.
All right.
And so after she told me that, I was pestering her. Show my stuff. Show my stuff. You know, tell them about me. And she assures me that she does. So Nicola, if you're watching, I'm still holding you to that. But yeah, no, it was a few months back. She messaged me saying, "Oh, guess where I'm going in November?" And I was like, "Going?" She says, "Andrew and his wife have invited me to go to Malta for the Malta Comic Con." I was like, "Oh, that'd be amazing."
What does she do?
Nicolette has had many jobs, and at this precise moment, I'm not 100% sure what Nicolette does. So, cousin, if you're watching,
do you want to send us a message? Let us know what you do.
But yeah, she's telling me about that, and you know, it was great. Forgot all about it, and then became friends with Andrew on Facebook.
Right.
And then I noticed that he had posted something on the Malta Comic Con group about appearing.
That was me.
Is that you?
Sorry. Yes,
No, it's just
my dad. He's not watching.
So I was like, I'll kill Malta Comic Con's got a group, so I asked to join the group.
Oh, you're back.
They accepted, and as you do when you join a group, you introduce yourself. So I was like, "Hi, my name's Mike. I'm a digital artist. This is what I do." Showed them a link to my page, and then it was the next day I got an email from one of the organisers saying, "Oh wow, you know, really like your work. We'd love to ask you to be a guest. All our guest slots are finished, but if you want, it'd be cool if you could have you over as a guest exhibitor."
Yeah.
That's
amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Told my girlfriend, she's like, "Yeah."
Brilliant. So you're heading off next weekend then, yeah?
Next weekend, we'll leave on Thursday. Next week. And it's a Sunday next week.
So what's the highlights of the Malta Comic Con? Anybody big going?
Oh yes, well, one of my favourite artists at the moment, Rufus Dayglow. He's going to be there. Tank Girl artist.
Yeah, was he
at Glasgow Comic Con.
Yeah, he was there this year actually.
He was there this year, not the year before, but the year before that. Andrew Wildman's obviously going to be there, and it's just there's just a plethora of awesome.
Are you going to be fangirling again?
Absolutely.
International fangirl.
Absolutely.
Like
so Rufus, again, if you're watching, expect me to be fangirl.
Get ready for it.
Get ready for it.
I think he's quite used to being fangirl.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is, yeah.
He loves a bit of it. Excellent.
Not from big hairy 6'3" Scotsman.
I didn't know who he was, so I didn't fangirl him. I was just chatting away to him. There we go. Yeah. There we go. We turned the sound off for some reason. Boba,
Boba,
you turned the sound off, buddy.
don't look at me.
It would seem that Alistair is still watching because he just let us know that the sound was turned off. All right. I don't know how long that's been gone for. We've been talking shit for quite a while, so hopefully, yeah, they've all listened to that. But yeah, cons. What else have you done?
Well, we did Doncaster
We
back
did.
in May. That
We
was
did.
really cool.
That was an interesting experience.
It was
alright.
an interesting hotel experience.
Yes. So we decided to rent a hotel that was nice and cheap because we were on a budget, and it was £24. We thought it was £24 per person. It was actually £24 per room, and we all shared rooms, and it was horrible. It was horrible. I didn't sleep because Alistair was snoring all night. But I only paid £8 for the room, so it turned out to be a great experience. I wonder how long the sound has been gone.
Can anyone tell us how long the sound's been on?
Anyone tell us how long the sound? Well, we've lost some viewers, so oh well. It's part of these learning curves, isn't it? It's my show. I can do what I want. Yeah. I felt like turning the sound off. So what? You don't like it? Piss off. Excellent. Right, Mike, I want to pick your brains because I know a little bit about foam building, and I've done a little bit in the past, but I want you to talk me through your process and how you tend to work and what materials you tend to use. And give me all your knowledge so I can copy you.
Okay.
Yeah. So you use Pepakura files?
Yeah, I use sort of foam Pepakura files. In the last few builds, I've done like the Dr. Doom helmet and the Flash helmet.
Yeah.
I've actually just kind of used the skills that I've learned from GF Custom and put them into getting the shapes that I want. And I kind of just made them up as I went along.
Yeah.
So that's why whenever you'll see the Flash helmet or the Dr. Doom helmet, they're down as completely custom because there's no file for them. They're been made up on the spot. But yeah, no, if you're starting out, go on to, as I say, the GF Custom page on RPF. There's so many files. It's really easy ones to get you started. Some more complex ones that you can build up to. Get the files, size them. Now you can get Pepakura Designer. You can get the free viewer. Pepakura Viewer lets you view the files and print them, but if you want to actually manipulate them for sizes or remove parts that you don't need to print out, then get the Designer version. I think it's free for a while, and then you might need to pay a wee bit to get it.
You do have to pay for it, I know that.
You can get it dodgily.
What?
Somehow.
Who told you that?
People. Yeah, no, and then you can just print it out.
And is that something you do? Do you modify the files to
suit your
needs?
Well, the amount of Magneto helmets that I've done this summer, that have had to be different sizes because one was for a kid, another one was for a grown man but with a small head, another one was for another guy and his head was huge. So you've got to adjust them for a bit for people. Yeah, I'll adjust it that way. Then I cut the templates out.
Do you modify the templates in any sort of way to make it easy for foam? Because naturally, Pepakura is designed for paper, so it has tabs that are all numbered. If anybody's not used Pepakura, it's a brilliant way of turning three-dimensional objects, computer-generated three-dimensional objects, into paper files, and it actually breaks it down into parts that can all be sort of stitched together like a three-dimensional jigsaw. And all it's just like painting by numbers, really. Tab A goes into slot B, and you just keep on going until you've got a big three-dimensional object. But that's designed for paper, and naturally foam has a thickness of 10 mil or 6 mil, whatever. Do you need to make any modifications to help it join together? Because naturally you can have big flaps of foam.
The way this guy makes the files is he actually has dashes and dots on certain parts of the file. So if it's I can't remember what way about it is, but if it's a dash, it means it's it folds in like that. If it's a dot, then it means it will fold out like that. And there's some sections that he's marked out where you can overlap the file. You can look at it and you'll see the bits that are meant to have like a little angle. What that'll allow you to do is you can then judge it by the thickness of your foam as to whether you need to make that cut or not. I generally don't make that many small cuts because the thickness of your foam, I think it's a 4 mil foam that I use.
Okay.
So you don't need to make some sort of really tight cuts like that.
I know, it's a great picture. That's going to be the screenshot.
yeah, so I get my templates, cut them out, get the bits that I want to use. I use it's a closed cell EVA foam that I use. You can buy it online. I'll provide some
Links in the bottom later on. Yeah.
If you need it quickly, because if you're going to Sports Direct, they do a mat. It's a fitness mat, not a camping mat. I don't like camping mats because they're sort of wee tiny bubbles.
They're very porous, aren't they?
They're very porous. They're good if it's a quick costume build that you want to do. But if you want to make something that's a bit more sturdy, get the closed cell stuff.
Yeah.
If you use a camping mat stuff, you can't sand it.
Yeah.
It just shreds it.
Yeah.
So I use as closed cell as you can get. You can get various thicknesses depending on what you want. You could even get those interlocking foam mats. 4mm.
What do you buy for that?
It's just a roll.
Just a roll. So it's a yoga mat, is it?
Well, if you want to get them quick, you can get a yoga mat, which is I think it comes in at 1 meter long by 2 meters, 1 meter wide by 2 meters. And the one I use is fabric backed, but you can just peel that off.
Oh, okay.
It's got a fabric trim that you can cut away as well.
Excellent.
But you can get different rolls, different sizes. Again, I'll show you the link later on. And then I use a wee technique by another one of my favourite special effects and prop makers is Evil Ted Smith.
Evil Ted, yeah.
Evil Ted, where you get your template, you put it on the mat, you pin it into place, and then he draws around it with a Sharpie. But what I do is I get a really big, thick, chunky marker, and I just go right around the edge.
Yeah.
And then when you peel it away, you've got your
exact line to work to.
And then, good scalpel. Make sure your blade's really sharp. It's blunt, it'll tear. Get a scalpel, get a blade sharpener because that'll prolong the life of your blades. So you're not going through blades every 50 cuts.
Do you use an extendable box cutter type blade?
I use a box cutter. I use a box cutter to cut out the pieces that I want to cut. But generally, the pieces of that small fiddle I do use just a scalpel.
Right.
Yeah, my methods of gluing are just your good old bog standard hot glue gun. Again, if you go on the GF custom page, he tells you a good way of gluing it so you get it down one edge. And if you glue it from the top down, then it forces all the excess glue to the inside of the thing. I did do that at first, but once I started sanding, I don't do it as much because you can just, once you get into it with a sand, it takes it all off anyway. So just talking about Evil Ted Smith, he's another really good one if you want to get into foam building. Watch his tutorials.
His YouTube channel is blowing up at the moment. He's putting up so many great little simple tutorials.
Really simple tutorials, how to make
awesome helmets.
I mean, I'm talking about using Pepakura files. He actually shows you how to make your own templates just by using duct tape and tin foil.
Yeah, it's genius.
Really low budget, really effective. Watch his tutorials because he's really good.
There'll be a link down below.
And then glue them together. I don't use barbs or anything like that because I always hear the Americans talk about barbs and this two-part stuff. Barbs you don't get in the UK.
Well, you can get it.
It's expensive.
You pay a lot of money for it. I'm currently out of it, which is a bit irritating.
And unfortunately, I don't have a workshop.
You only use hot glue.
Hot glue.
Yeah, and how does that hold up? Because I've not had much experience hot gluing foam, but I've always used a similar product to barge.
Actually, I haven't had any issues where the foam splits.
Yeah.
I'll have issues where maybe if I've hot glued fabric to the foam, then it'll peel off.
Right.
But if it's foam on foam, if it's hot enough, especially if it's going to say a hot melt hot glue gun. If it's a cold melt, you might have a wee issue. If it's a hot melt, it actually fuses the foam together.
It does fuse it, yeah.
So excellent. I haven't had any issues with that. Sometimes if it's really small bits of detail I'm trying to put in, like the Doctor Doom mask, I will just go straight on super glue.
Yeah.
If it's a part that doesn't need to flex in any way, then super glue will work because it just holds it in place.
Super glue is quite brittle.
If you put on a piece that needs a bit of flex to it, then it will crack.
Yeah. Hot glue's got a bit more bend than this.
Yep. So once I've got the hot glue, I sand the shit out of it. I'll just get a wee.
That's the fun part, isn't it? That's what we do.
I'll just get a wee palm sander. Start off with a low grip to get all the imperfections away. Smooth it out as much as you can. If I have time, I will sand it and then I'll seal it. I just use basic PVA glue. I'll just seal it with PVA. Let that dry. It soaks in, gives it a nice base coat. I then use a higher grip sandpaper, sand it again, makes it smoother. Do that process 3 times, building up the grit until it's just really nice and smooth. And then I give it one final coat of PVA, and that's it. Then I can start painting.
Do you do any sort of heat shaping or bending?
Oh,
of the
yeah,
foam,
yeah,
Or
yeah.
do you just rely heavily on sanding out the curves?
No, generally with the patterns, it will give you the basic shape that you want. With the sanding, it'll take away any of the harder edges. But I do sometimes what they call dish the foam. So from the dread helmets that I do, they tend to be a bit more pointy at the back of the file. So I'll actually push. I've got like an old army helmet at home, and I heat it up from the inside, and I'll push that in, and it'll give it a nice rounder shape at the back.
So you use that metal army helmet to create the shape. Genius, genius! I love a little tip.
And it gives it just a better curve, and you can a heat can shape quite a lot of the stuff. If there's parts that I've made, just from reference, like the right-handed doom that I did.
Yeah.
There's a lot of parts of that, where especially in the hand part, that you've just got to heat and pull the foam into position. Once it's again, if you use a good closed cell foam, once it's cooled down, that's it. It won't lose that shape.
Excellent, excellent. Just quickly here, Paul Martin has been asking, are his comments visible? And yes, they are visible. Sorry, Paul. Things have been updating quite slowly here for some reason. Apparently, we were out of sync for 4 minutes.
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
I think we're just talking shit anyway, so it doesn't really matter. If anybody really wants to know, they can send us a message. But I think
comparing beard tips for a good part of that.
Beard growing tips for 4 minutes. And somebody asked about hot glue gun. Yes, Paul, Centurion was immense. Paul has to agree with that. And there was something about hot glue, but I think we did cover that. You use a hot glue gun for your phone, don't you? Excellent.
And I'm gonna start doing something on my Facebook page, just because I've had a lot of people asking, are you going to do tutorials? Are you going to do that? I don't need to. Honestly, I learned everything that's from all that's already there. Go on YouTube, just Google foam builds. Look at Evil Ted Smith. Look at all the amazing prop makers from the States. They've got the information's out there. But I want to do a wee thing where people have been asking me what I use.
Yeah.
So, what blades are you using? And I get a lot of that. So I'm going to do a wee thing called Toolbox Tuesdays.
Toolbox Tuesdays. I like this.
I'm going to focus on a piece of
what's a hashtag?
Hashtag Toolbox Tuesdays. And I'm just going to focus on a wee bit of kit that I use, how I use it, a few pictures, and that's it. I'm going to do it every Tuesday, I think.
That sounds really good. I'd be well up for tuning into that. Excellent. So, finishing. How do you seal your foam? Well, tips and tricks, because obviously you're going to have some sort of splits and gaps and imperfections.
Yeah. After the sanding process, you should have a fairly clean finish to it, but there will still be little gaps, little crevices. I use a flexible filler.
Okay.
Just cheap flexible filler you can get from B&Q or any other sort of hardware shop if you're in the States.
So
hardware store. Walmart.
Is that what it's called? Flexible filler?
Yeah, it's just flexible filler. It's stuff that's used just for your walls. Don't use the dry stuff, because again, if you're using that on a piece that needs to flex, that'll just crack. Flexible stuff, it's got a bit of rubber through it.
Okay.
It's not quite your window sealant stuff. It's like a mixture of the two. I just put that on.
I've not heard of that one.
Yeah, it's that dial flexible filler.
Builder's caulk.
No.
PVA.
There's tons of different ways you can do it. I find that once you've done all that sanding, you shouldn't have very many imperfections left.
Yeah.
And it only needs just a little bit of filling.
You see, you're probably quite disciplined like I am, and you like to get a mirror finish
as much as you can get on foam.
Yeah. Some people just tend to build it, cover it with something,
which is fine,
Which is fine. It's brilliant, if that's the sort of time that you want to spend.
But for like some new, for the money we charge for some of the stuff we make, we want to make sure they're perfect for the client. So that's the sort of lengths I'll go to getting it as clean as possible. So flexible filler. Flexible
for your hardware store.
You can get the B&Q brand, which is called Dial, I think. Dial B&Q flexible filler comes in a squeezy tube about that size. Just a little bit here and there. If there is a rough patch where the sanding hasn't quite taken, then I just get a big dot on my finger, rub it into the rough patch, bit of water, rub that in as well, and then it actually shred of the roughness.
Okay.
That fills it in. And also, if I've went too hard with the sander and the PVA, sometimes you'll get it's almost like a sandy piece, a sandy patch
It's fluffy.
that just the paint won't take to. So again, just a bit of the dial on that, and it fixes it up. And then what I do is I prime it, just a grey primer. Again, B&Q, just get a basic grey primer. It depends on what finish you're after, though.
Yeah.
If you're wanting a nice chrome finish, get it white. If you want it to have a darker piece, then get the black. But I generally go with a sort of light grey on most of the stuff.
I like red.
Yeah, it's red.
Red, I tend to see more imperfections quicker than with the grey. But then again, I tend to layer up my primers with grey and red, and then when you sand back, you can see how many layers you've gone through. But that's different from working in foam and working with resins and Bondo and stuff like that. Isn't that right, Boba? That's right.
And it just really depends what kind of finish I'm wanting on the piece. So once you've got that grey primer on, you can do whatever you want to it. I like using car paints. Halfords is really good.
Halfords is the way forward, definitely. Yeah.
I like using my car paints to get metallic finishes, even just basic flat colours. I like using the car paints because it gives you a nice solid finish on foam, and it's still got a bit of flex to it.
Yeah.
I've used some paints that when you flex it, it'll crack, but the car paints tend to keep the shape really well. And there's a couple of things I want to make next year that. In the Flash helmet, I gave it the leather effect to make it look like leather. I want to do the same for a Batman cowl and a Wolverine cowl.
So kind of.
So how I do that is you just use that crackle glaze.
What's that?
Seen crackle glaze?
No.
It's you get them to sort of tap up old lamps and stuff like that, and it's a 2-part spray paint.
Okay.
So you get the first part, which is your base color, which generally is brown. You spray that on, you give it about 30 seconds to a minute until it becomes tacky, and then you hit it with the next coat, which is a matte, which is sometimes sort of a cream colour.
Excellent.
It goes on, and then after about 10 seconds, it splits.
So it reacts.
It reacts and it splits and gives you this crackle effect.
Excellent.
You let that dry, or you can do that as many times as you want until you get the right finish that you want. Once that's dry, then for the Flash helmet, I had to wear a red acrylic. That sat on really nice, and then I gave it a nice dark wash.
Yeah. Oh, Boba, what's wrong?
Falls into all the cracks, makes it look like leather.
That sounds awesome, because you'll know I'm quite a fan of crappy looking rusted messed up things. I don't really like pristine
got to get the battle damage in there.
What's that called?
Crackle glaze.
Crackle glaze. I'll be checking that out. So I will.
B&Q.
So that's helmets painted, done and dusted. What about lining? Do you do much internal lining or padding or anything like that?
I will generally leave that up to the client, just because I don't want to put a load of foam in the helmet and then it doesn't fit properly, or it's not in the right positions on the head. But I will always let them know the best places to go and do that. If they want me to do it and they've given me the right measurements, then I'll do it for them at the time. Excellent. Another thing I'll recommend to people is, if you're like me and you've got quite a small head, get a builder's hard hat insert.
Yeah, I've seen you do that with your dread helmet.
I did that with my dread helmet, and just attach it in the back, and then when it sits, it'll sit nicely on your dome and it won't flop about. Because the thing with foam builds is they're really lightweight. So if you are wearing it for a convention, it's great in that sense, because there's not a lot of weight in your shoulders. I've had a couple of guys at the Glasgow Comic Con came up to me and saw the dread helmet, and they go on patrol as movie and comic dreads.
Okay.
And the guy was saying, if only I had known about this before he'd spent 300 quid on his helmet, because it's a cold cast.
Right, yeah.
And it's really heavy. And he says his neck kills after it. So
it must be really heavy with neck hurts.
Or
else he's just not as tough as he cosplays. Oh, my helmet, it's pure chafing. Paul has a question about your dread helmet. He's asking about the visor. And he also said he loved my Jumanji cosplay, so cheers for that. But yeah, the visor for your dread helmet, what did you use for that?
There's two things I use when I'm doing the dread helmets. I like to, when I can, get I can't remember what grade of tint it is, but you can get the insert for welding masks.
Oh.
But they can be a bit pricey.
And are they not complete blackouts though?
No, you can actually get them. There's a certain grade that will let you see through.
Okay.
I haven't used that in a while though. Recently, what I've been using is a limousine window tint on a clear acrylic.
That's what I was going to suggest.
On a clear acrylic, it works better because it's cheaper and I don't have to charge more for it.
Because you can get a huge roll of that for like
Yeah,
10, 15 pound off eBay.
yeah, exactly. And the welding stuff really hard to cut. Whereas if you're just cutting a clear a creek,
so is that like a rounded welding mask? Is it
it's
flexible?
basically a drop welding mask, and and unlike these welding masks, it covers the whole face.
Yeah.
But they're quite pricey. It's
that would
like
have been very pricey.
40 quid for 2 sheets.
But yeah, I've used the it's just water applied onto sheets of acrylic or transparent material.
That's exactly what it is.
Or something like that, and you get something nice and thin, like a 1 mil or 2 mil.
Yeah, 1 mil, 2 mil.
It'll
bendable acrylic. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I've got some really good tips. I'm gonna have to rewatch this video to get all the names. You're brilliant. Gary McAllister asked a question very early on, but I didn't want to interrupt you when you're in your flow. He is a 2D artist / illustrator, and he loves to make some decent Halloween costumes. What was your transition from 2D to physical props like? How did you find that? Because obviously you'd spent what 4 or 5 years in university holding a pen.
Yeah. Transition. I don't. I mean, I've always done that side of things. I've always, what was the question here?
There you go.
It was. I don't want to say it was easy because it wasn't easy. But if you are that way with your creativity, if you've got a point where you go, right, I'm doing this 2D work, I know how that will translate as a costume, and then just try different materials, try different techniques. As I've said before, go online, and if you are creatively minded, then you will find ways of tackling certain things that you might find hard to do. I don't know if I'm making much sense. It's like, because while I was studying, well, I mean, I've always been good at art since I was a little boy, and I actually only went to art school because I could do it, to be honest with you. But I've always made my own costumes, and being that sort of creatively minded was an asset when it comes to doing that. For me, I don't know if I'm making too much sense. It's a good question, but I don't know if I can sort of give a clear answer as to how doing 2D artwork translates to it. The only thing I can say is just trial and error. Just come up with an idea, get it down on 2D first, try parts out. If that's not working, then change the 2D design, work it up in that sense. And then the more you do that, the probably easier it'll come.
I think
I've answered it.
It's one of these things. A transition from any media into another media is going to be difficult. You're not going to be an expert straight away. But I tuned into Bill Duran's Prop Live, and he had
Love you, Bill.
Miss you. He had Frankie Polito on, and somebody asked a similar question. Love you, Frank. Somebody, I do love him, don't you? He's just amazing. Face off. He does everything so fucking quickly. It's like, oh, look at this massive mold I made in like 4 seconds.
Since Face Off, especially when he came back for the vets versus the newbies, that was a great season.
Yeah.
And since then, watching your stuff online, Frank, if you're watching, amazing, man. Big fan. Big fan.
Frank was saying that you want to make people like, oh, how do I do this? And like, I get this question all the time. I'm sure you get it as well. Is how do I do this? How do I make it a profession? How do I make these awesome things? And he was just like, you gotta just make stuff.
Just do it.
Fucking make it. Just like fall asleep, wake up, make stuff while you're sitting on your couch watching TV. Be making something. Just try and make stuff, but don't be precious about it. You know, if you make something that's really shit, great, you've learned something. Next time, make it again, make it a little bit better. Keep on building, keep on making. Start with cheap materials like, you know, cardboard, make it move on to camping mats, foam and stuff like that, go into latex. There's many cheap alternatives to the expensive stuff that like me and Bill Duran and Frankie use. But yeah, you just got to get in there, really, because I think if you're creative, it doesn't really matter if it's 2-dimensional or 3-dimensional. You just got to embrace it and practice.
I'm a firm believer of trial and error. That's something I've got to come out with daft quotes here, but somebody did tell me always be prepared to go and get your nose bloodied, and that is what you should do. If you don't be afraid to do things, just get in there, be afraid. You know, get your fingers cut, slice your fingers open,
Yeah.
burn yourself with glue,
Do
stick
it
your fingers together with glue gun.
every day, every day.
You know, it's the only way you're going to get better at your craft. You've just got to keep doing it. I mean, like I say, I've been drawing since I was a small child. I've been building these things primarily for Halloween for years. It's only really this last year I've done it to this scale, but I would never have gotten to that position if I didn't do it.
Yeah.
And it's like you say, you've got to give it a go. You've got to try it. You've got to see how things go.
Yeah, so
Don't be afraid.
that was Gary, wasn't it? Yeah, sorry it took so long to answer your question, Gary. I knew
Good
it was
question,
there.
Gary.
I knew it was there, but
Good question.
for some reason, my phone is working a lot quicker than the website. And Paul has just said he has to go because his Wayne is woken up and he has to go.
Bye, Paul.
So thanks for tuning in, Paul. Great to have you again. Well, I've picked your brain. Really got a lot of information out of you there. Yeah, brilliant. So Alistair gave me this question actually, and I was going to ask it. 5-year plan for what you see here, because obviously this is part-time that you do in your free time. You work full-time. Do you have a sort of 5-year plan? Are you thinking that far ahead, or are you just enjoying what you're doing at the moment and seeing what happens? Because obviously you've had some great opportunities, like things like Malta just pop up from nowhere, and I've experienced that over the last couple of years. You just don't really know what's around the next corner, what the next commission is going to be. Are you just sort of playing it like that, or do you think you're working towards something?
I mean, to do it at the scale of what you do, my man, it would be a dream come true. But I do know the hours you put in. No, that's what I'm saying. I do know the hours you put in.
You have weekends. You have a life. You have a dog you can take for a walk.
It's true.
Yeah, or bring him to my office.
But you know, it's always been a lifelong dream of mine to see something that I've created on screen. Ideally, I would love to get, you know, just in the door with any sort of special effects company that's looking to, you know, make props, make special effects pieces, make weapons. Oh, that would be the dream. It's actually, since the new Star Wars films have happened, I'm making it a mission to get something done on the last movie. Yeah, that's going to be my mission, because the last movie will be out. It's 25th.
The last of the new trilogy.
15th of the new trilogy.
Okay.
Yeah. And even then, they're going to keep making them.
They're doing spin-offs. They're doing the Yoda spin-off and the Boba Fett spin-off.
And I have it from a trusted source that they are doing a young Han Solo.
Oof, that'll be good.
Very trusted.
Who would you like to see play him?
Oh God, I don't know. There is one guy online. I don't know if you've ever seen him.
Yeah.
He actually looks like Harrison Ford when he was younger.
Right.
And he does his voice perfectly, but he's an unknown, completely unknown.
Right. He's just like a YouTube sort of.
Yeah, he does impressions, and I can't remember the guy's name. Look it up. Han Solo impression or Harrison Ford impression. The guy's scary good. As in,
is he an actor?
I don't know. Yeah,
he's just a dude.
He's just a dude.
Oh, right. I'll have to look it up later. So
I don't know if it's hard to say, because I don't think there's anyone really that could play a young Harrison Ford that's out just now.
He's too good.
Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf.
That's amazing.
Oh, that's fantastic. So you'd like to get into movies?
Yeah, I would love to. Whether it's something that I've designed through concept art, to be able. I'm going to name drop here. I know Ian McCaig.
Ooh. And
I don't just mean I've met him. I mean I know Ian McCaig. He's looked at my work. I like to think of him as a bit of a mentor. Given how busy he is, though, I don't hear from him that much recently, because he is working on not only the new Star Wars movies, but unnamed Marvel movies that he can't tell me about.
Oh dear.
But to be able to say, you know, that character that everyone loves in Star Wars, especially the prequels, Darth Maul.
Yeah.
To be able to say I designed that character, that would be unreal.
Yeah.
To be able to say that I was the guy that created this iconic image, or even just say I was the guy that helped build it. Like, you know, when you see stuff that Steve Wang does, to be able to say, yeah, I built that Predator. I created that. Or even Stan Winston. There's another one. If you're looking for help, go to the Stan Winston School. Now they take subscriptions.
It's worth it.
It's so
signed up. I think they do a 3-day trial.
Yeah, they do a 3-day trial.
Just basically take 3 days off and spend all day on YouTube.
Yeah, watch all the videos. the guys on that are masters, and they wouldn't be there if they weren't.
Absolutely
And
incredible. Isn't it?
information. That's actually how I learned a lot of my painting techniques.
Yeah.
Was through that.
Well, before
Stan Winston school.
I did my first matrix mold, I subscribed to Stan Winston and watched some of the tutorials there, and it's absolutely incredible the level of skill that those guys have.
Yeah.
And all the knowledge was just sort of poured out into like I think it was like a 60-minute video.
Yeah.
And my first big mold was perfect after that, you know, and it was largely down to their help and advice.
Yeah.
And it's a great
Because
resource. Expensive, but it's a great resource.
Yeah, and you know, I don't do as much of it as I would, but I do a lot of sculpting, and I've got a mountain of clay that I still need to do stuff with. But it's definitely a great website. Even like you do the 3D trial, like Tom says, sit down with a notebook, go through the ones you're interested in, take as much information from it as you can.
Yeah, and you can't rip the videos. I tried.
You can.
It's like, I need to rip this. How can I do it? No, you can watch it. That's it.
But even the lowest subscription is worth it. I mean, I think it's about $12 a month, or $19 a month, which is equivalent to about £12.
I mean, you get a limited number of videos
and you can watch 3 videos a month. But if it's only 3 videos a month you're watching, it's worth it.
Yeah. Definitely.
But yeah, to be able to be one of these guys that you know are in the industry, and again, I know it's a tough industry, but it's come on, if you're doing something you love, then it's worth it.
That's it.
Yeah, I think that's where I'd like to see it going. To see me going, anyway. And there's a couple of wee secret side things that I'm working on with my girlfriend that we're going to keep quiet for the time being. But
we'll have to get you back on
yeah,
and talk about that.
Talk about that, but yeah. Yeah, I think that's
excellent. Gary messaged back in saying that it was a top quality answer, and thank you very much for that. Yeah. Alistair Watson sending me something. It's probably boobs or something like that. Yeah, I'll look at that later.
Is that balls?
What? No, oh, is it balls? Oh, it's balls. Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, I told you I spent today sculpting balls. Yeah, don't ask. Typical Tuesday here. Excellent. Well, we've actually filled an hour. Woo! 4 minutes didn't have sound.
Yeah.
But they've heard enough about beards. Let me just double check that there's no more questions being asked. Have you any questions, Mike? I've been bombarding you. Paul wants to know, am I not selling the pound shop lightsabers yet?
Well, that's when I still need to partake in your lightsaber challenge.
Yeah,
that's going to be something.
I thought you had done it.
Downtime. No.
No. What? I'll give you a pound for you just shut up. We're on the internet here. No, I'm quite fond of my lightsabers, my pound shop lightsabers, but I've been itchy to do something like that again, and that's what I was going to ask you. You have seen Evil Ted's YouTube videos. His first videos that he put up was a tutorial on how to design and build a foam helmet, and you can do this in like literally a day. It's crazy. But I was thinking about doing a foam helmet challenge.
Okay.
Exact same principles. You're allowed 2 sheets of foam, a can of primer, a can of paints, or 2 cans of paint, some blades and some glue, and you have a day or a weekend to build a helmet, and we'll record it. What do you reckon?
I'm up for that, dude.
There you go. Challenge accepted. Now we just need to figure out when. But yeah, I've been wanting to do that for quite a while, and nobody would take me up on the challenge because nobody could work with foam, and you're much better at working with foam than me, so I quite like it. I like a challenge.
I like some of that.
But a custom design helmet to fit your own head, completely unique, bespoke, and we won't limit it. You can do whatever you want. I've got an idea of what I want to build.
Excellent.
But we could do it over the space of a long weekend or something like that. Maybe just a Saturday or a Sunday afternoon or something like that.
Sounds like fun.
Excellent, excellent. So we're over the hour now, which is great. Well, this is what I want to pull up today. I was Googling myself today, which is something I don't do very often. Only once a day. But yeah, I've got an IMDb.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I want an IMDb.
I know, I didn't realize I had an IMDb, but I went on to page 4 of Google searches, and there's my IMDb, because I actually did some special effects for a short movie coming out this year called Electric Faces. So I don't think I'm not allowed to say too much about it, but I know it's coming out pretty soon. And
it's coming out in 2014. It's
not
long ago.
2014. So when we hear more about that,
Excellent.
But that was a really quick phone build that I did. It was really quite nice. It's about a robot. Quite good, 'cause you know I like robots. But yeah, I've got an IMDb. Oh, Alistair wants to do the helmet challenge as well. Okay, you can do the helmet challenge, Alistair. I thought you were watching the football. Yeah. So, anything else before we go?
No, I just want to say thanks to anyone that's tuned in, and thanks for the questions.
We have
Good
six
ones, man.
viewers. I think we've broken the
Is
record.
Is that 6 viewers now?
6 viewers
all
now.
in?
That's it, because it goes up and down.
Yeah.
So like if we start swearing grotesquely, they'll probably all disappear.
If you've tuned in and tuned out or tuned back in or whatever, thanks for coming on. And I hope if you're watching this later on, on YouTube, that I don't just ramble like a madman.
You get to watch it when you go home.
So I've done a couple of video interviews and radio interviews, and you're like, what was I saying that for? Or then you realise you say a certain word a lot. I'll probably say Halloween about 5 million times.
You said Halloween quite a bit. Yeah, we love Halloween. No, just don't overanalyze. I've been overanalyzing my videos and all the little things that I do that are silly.
Yeah. That's been fun, man. And thanks for having me on, dude.
Thanks very much.
I know Tom from the internet.
Sorenzo off the internet. Did you see my T-shirt? Did you?
Yeah, man.
Let's check out my T-shirt for my birthday. Yeah, it's quite good. So people know who I am. People didn't know who I was. People didn't know who I was.
I think if you have got any quick questions.
Yeah, I think Paul's got another question. He's back. He got the Wayne back to sleep. Shameless plug to finish, brilliant. Yeah, so this has been the Sorenzo Prop Show with Mike Lawson of What You See Here. If you want to find Mike Lawson of What You See Here, you can check out all of these hingamies. Facebook, W.Y.S.H. Wish, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Was that intentional, or did you even notice that when it first happened, or?
Yeah, well, I think I abbreviated it like that.
Yeah.
And so I went, Wish Creative, and I went, yeah, okay.
Brilliant. So yeah, Wish Creative, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
If you just Google Wish Creative or just What You See Here Creative, all these pages will come up. But my website has predominantly my artwork on it. If you want to see my phone builds, props, stuff like that, go onto my Facebook page. Everything's on there.
Page is the way forward. Excellent, and we'll see you again for a phone build challenge.
Thank you, my man. Yes, I look forward to that.
Hopefully we'll get you on next year again when you've done some more awesome custom builds for yourself. Some new cosplays. We'll have a cosplay episode, I think. I think we should just sit around and cosplay.
Yeah.
We'll get drunk this time.
Yeah, I like that.
Yes, Sorenzo Prop Show, episode 3 with Mike Lawson, What You See Here. If you're watching this, we'll have a load of links in the bottom for everything that we've spoken about today. And tune in next time for Sorenzo Prop episode 4. I don't know who's going to be coming, but it should be fun. We might get Boba on.
He's back on the table.
Get down on that table.
Boba, can I say bye-bye?
Thanks very much, folks, for tuning in. And don't forget to check me out, Sorenzo Props. If you search Google, the first pages is all me. It's brilliant. I've got an IMDb now. All right, say bye-bye, Boba. Bye-bye. Thank you, folks.